Hello, and welcome to the Capital Gains Show. My name is Aaron. In this show, I defend capitalism and criticize socialism. In this episode, I want to show you a couple of tweets that I thought were pretty cool. That's right, this is Cool Tweets Episode 2. Let's get right into it. How about that? Now, Robert Reich is a government stooge who has spent pretty much most of his life in the public sector, although he currently teaches in Berkeley at a university. He spent a lot of time in various presidential administrations. He was an economic and policy advisor, and he also served as an economic secretary or something like that in the 90s. Now, he likes to go on Twitter and badmouth rich people and job creators. And here is a tweet where he says, Tesla forced all workers to take a 10% pay cut from mid-April until July. In the same period, Tesla stock skyrocketed and CEO Elon Musk's net worth quadrupled from $25 billion to over $100 billion. Musk is a modern-day robber baron. Then Elon Musk came back at him and said, all Tesla workers also get stock, so their compensation increased proportionately. You are a modern-day moron. Now, there's a few things worth noting about Robert Reich's tweet. I think he's being disingenuous. He can't really be this stupid. A robber baron is someone who's committing theft and doing rent seeking and fraud and other forms of stealing wealth from others. And that's not what happens when a stock value goes up. Okay, Elon Musk didn't steal anything from anybody. Here's what happens. Here's why Tesla stock went up. Because people chose to give Tesla money. They chose to give investment dollars to the Tesla Motor Company. And everyone who owns Tesla stock watched their shares go up. Elon, being the founder of Tesla, does own a lot of Tesla stock. So the value of his Tesla stock holdings went up. But he's not the only one that owns Tesla stock. He didn't steal any money from anyone. What he did was he watched the value go up when Tesla, the company, received investment dollars. And who's investing in Tesla? Well, a lot of retirement accounts. Workers around the world, poor workers, middle-class workers, and rich workers all choose where to invest their savings and their retirement accounts. So a bunch of workers went out and said, hey, we're going to put our retirement accounts and investment dollars into Tesla because we feel it's a good value. And then Tesla's value as a company went up, and Elon's shares increased in value just like everyone else's. Absolutely not a modern day robber baron. Elon received value that people chose to give to him. So Robert's being kind of disingenuous here. I don't think he's that stupid. He just likes to, beat the drum for his ideology. Now I'm going to show you a couple additional tweets that give additional context. Here's a couple tweet replies to that little spat. The first one here is from Technostic. He says, billionaire hating is the new in thing to do when you're a millionaire. Bernie does it, Robert does it, all the cool millionaires do it. Now, here's the thing. Robert Reich is a millionaire. He's already very rich. And unlike Elon, Robert Reich never started a company that was successful. He never gave anyone any jobs. Well, he didn't give very many people jobs, not as many as Elon did. And Robert didn't create a valuable company that people wanted to invest in to increase their wealth. So Elon has done more to help more workers increase the value of their savings and the value of their labor output than Robert's ever done. Elon's done more to make more value for more people and improve the lives of more people than Robert has ever done. And look at the additional tweet here from Jim Hall. According to data from 2014, Robert Reich asks for $40,000 for a 1-hour speaking engagement plus hotel, flight, and food. Pretty good gig if you can get it, I guess. I wonder what that amount is now. It's probably higher. It's probably not lower. And Elon Musk doesn't even take a yearly salary. That's right. So Robert is really milking the overpay thing for himself personally, and he just seems to think it's wrong when other people do it. And it is true that Elon is richer than Robert, but if Rob had put some of his money into Tesla stock, maybe he'd be a billionaire by now. And what happens, maybe someday Robert will become a billionaire. Maybe he's going to write a book that sells 100 million copies at $10 a piece, or he gets $10 for every book sold. He's a popular guy. he could conceivably become a billionaire at some point, and then who's he going to scream about? Is he going to keep complaining about billionaires then? Especially when he's a billionaire that didn't make as many jobs as the other billionaires did. So it's really silly to see this thing that all these rich ideologues do. He's worth tens of millions of dollars, and he's just talking crap. Now, I want to get back to something though here. Here's how this relates to socialism. Okay, socialism says that the workers have to own the means of production. Capitalism, it's perfectly clear here, since Tesla employees do own stock, and a lot of workers own stock in the companies that they work at and in other companies. Capitalism already lets the workers own the means of production. Capitalism does not mandate that the workers own the means of production. It's their choice. They can choose to buy the means of production. They can choose to sell the means of production. They can choose what level of risk they want to take on in ownership of a particular company. Shares, value of stocks can go up and down. So, you take a risk when you put your savings into stocks. What if the stock price crashes and then your value, all your savings get wiped out? So these workers are taking risk when they take ownership of companies and when they buy stocks, and the risk should be up to them. It should be up to the workers' choice what risk they're comfortable taking. It shouldn't be mandated. Okay, in socialism, they're going to mandate that the workers own the means of production that they work at, and no one else or nowhere else. They won't let you own any other means of production except the ones you work at, and you're not allowed to sell the means of production that you work at. You have to own it. You can't trade those shares, the value that you have. You can't sell it. You can't do any of that. So socialism mandates that the workers own the means of production that they labor at and no other. They prohibit workers from owning any other means of production except for the one that they work at, where their ownership is mandatory. Under what penalty of gulag? What are they going to do if a worker decides he wants to work at some place without owning it? What if a worker dares to contribute his labor to something that he doesn't own? Socialism says that's not allowed. So what are they going to do? Punish workers? In capitalism, none of that threat happens. And in capitalism, workers can choose the level of ownership that they're comfortable with, the level of risk that they're comfortable with. Also, capitalism lets workers trade, buy, and sell means of production, multiple means of production. If you're a Tesla employee, you can also buy Ford shares. Maybe you think that the company you work at ain't going to do too well in the future, so you sell your Tesla shares and buy Ford shares. Well, in capitalism, that's allowed. That's an advantage for workers. That's a way to increase efficiency in terms of having your savings work for you. It's a way to increase wealth and improve the lot of the regular Joe. And it just so happens that capitalism also lets rich people get really rich doing the same thing. And that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. And then the more rich people you have, the more companies they're starting, and the more workers get more ownership and more shares, and the wealth goes up, okay? That's why capitalism improves prosperity and reduces poverty, while socialism does the opposite. If Robert Reich had his way, he'd probably ban a lot of these trades. I don't think he's like a hardcore socialist, but he sure seems to have a problem with capitalism. He would probably ban a lot of these types of trades of shares of companies that people currently enjoy, that regular workers currently benefit from. So if he had his way, the economy would be worse off. He sees everything through the lens of force and mandates and prohibitions and economic planning. He doesn't see anything in terms of free market and individual choice and workers choosing how their labor is shared, how their labor is contributed to which enterprises, and how their savings are accumulated and invested and stored and things like that. He wants to just dictate everything to everyone. So Elon Musk isn't dictating anything to anyone. He says, oh, he forced him to take a pay cut. He said, well, coronavirus, we all have to take a pay cut. He doesn't force anyone to work for Tesla. If the Tesla workers don't like taking a pay cut and don't think that the value of their shares is worth it, they could sell their Tesla shares. They could quit working at Tesla and go make their own electric car company. That's already allowed. Capitalism allows workers to form their own worker-owned means of production, their own co-ops if they want to. It's optional. And that's why capitalism has the advantage, because there's more ways for people to organize their labor and more ways for them to save their resources and create value and share value. And socialism prevents all those things from happening. And that's why socialism is less efficient and less effective at creating prosperity for the greatest number of people. So the best thing that you can have is a system where workers workers are free to invest in all these companies, and the people, the owners get, as rich as the investors care to have happen. And that's a benefit. That's not a drawback. So if you want to increase prosperity to the greatest degree possible for the greatest amount of people possible, what you need to do is maximize the allowed kinds of interactions, associations, and sharing and investing of value and savings for everybody. You don't want to decrease it. You don't want to prohibit it and mandate certain things and prohibit all these other things where people voluntarily interact and choose how they associate with each other. That's how you create that. That's how you prolong poverty. That's how you destroy wealth, and that's how you retard economic growth. So if you want more efficiency, more growth, more prosperity, you have to allow as many kinds of voluntary and freely chosen associations and interactions as possible. Thanks for watching.